Hello and welcome. Today I have a piece for my homemade art journal. It starts with a piece of Bristol Smooth cut to 5.5 by 5.5. And I typically don't like to start with a white paper, so I'm just giving it a covering of old paper. That's an old paper color distress ink. Mine's pretty wet, and so it goes on pretty easily. I'm gonna add a little darker color, vintage photo, and bring it in, just not bringing it in all the way. I kind of am making a halo where it's lighter to darker, lighter in the center. So I'm doing that with 3 different colors: old paper, vintage photo, and walnut stain. And some people really spend a lot of time getting their colors nice and smooth and blended smoothly. I am not really that concerned about it. I tend to want something a little more grungy looking, so that's why I really don't care that much. I'm going to be choosing a Tim Holtz stencil to add to the background. And I really like this one. It's kind of like gothic or something. And I don't know the name of it. And so I'm just using the walnut stain, the darkest one of the 3, and just adding the text randomly across most of it. I leave some of the center without any. Next I'm going to do some stamping, and oh gosh, what is the name of that? I'll have it listed in the description. Oh, here it is. Nature's Discovery. Yeah, Nature's Discovery. And I bought it for the weedy looking plant there. But I was kind of trying to make this look old world-ish. And this kind of looked old world-ish to me. And I'm using worn lipstick, so that's not quite as bright as picked raspberry, but a little more a little darker than kitsch flamingo. So I took two pretty good size impressions and then a couple little ones. My focal images are gonna lean towards the right of the page. So I thought I would add a little bit of texture paste. This is the Sparkle translucent texture paste. So it goes on like the other translucent texture paste, but it also has some sparkle glittery things in it. So it will not over, it doesn't, it's not a bunch of glitter, but it will just leave some glitter pieces as well as the shimmer of, or not the shimmer, the glossiness of the translucent texture paste. And that has to dry. Now you really can hardly see it there, but it is there. The sunlight changes so much in my office. It just, from moment to moment, the sun changes, it seems. So I'm adding some splatter of scorched timber. And then I'm gonna dry that. And the reason I'm drying in between is because I don't want my two splatters to intermingle and become a different color. But I'm just kind of using the nozzle to add some splatter of some kitsch flamingo. And this is the Oxide, which has more pigment in it. So I kind of wanted it to really show up. And dry that again. There's just a couple little spots where it's sitting on top of my texture paste, the splatters, so I'm just wiping a couple of them off. I'm going to add a little bit of scorched timber around the edges. And now I'm prepping my collage pieces. Pretty much other than the number list of Tim Holtz these are, well, no, the number list and the black and white leaves. All the rest are digital downloads, which is only 3. Um, and I'll have links to those in the description. Now, I can't control those links. I mean, if the seller changes for some reason, I won't be able to control that. That first one's it's like a tag that looks like from a ledger book or something, and it had a lot of blank area on it, so I just decided to take a stencil and add a little more design to that tag. This is a digital download. It's called Wedding Flowers, I think. Maybe not. Anyways, and then this one also is a digital download. The leaves, I was cleaning out a closet the other day and I found this old book. It was like 50 native trees of the county I live in, and it had like ink drawings of them. And they were pretty good drawings, I thought. And I'm like, oh, those will be great. And I said I could use them as black and white, but I wanted to try to see if I could if it would accept my ink. And it really did pretty well. The paper's pretty good. It wasn't like a copy paper book. They used a good paper to make the book. So it took my paper really well. I fussy cut them out, of course, but so I added crushed olive. I kind of wanted to mimic as close as I could the hue of the leaves on the flower. So I crushed olive and then added some vintage photo just to age them up a bit. So now I'm ready to start gluing. And I'm going to layer or elevate some of these layers, put some space in between. So I've got some scraps right there, and I'm going to be using some of these scraps to just add some layer to the circle and the flowers. The circle is going to get 1, and I'll put 2 on the flowers. This one was a little difficult to know which way was up. a little long, so I snipped the bottom. I'll hold on to that leaf because you never know when I need just one leaf. Unfortunately, with all the 50 native trees in the book, they're back to back, so I'm gonna have to sacrifice some of them. I don't think I mentioned it, but the flowers were just a little too pristine for me. Nice and crisp. They're beautiful. Um, but in this case, I wanted to dinge them up a little bit. So I added vintage photo to the flowers. And I don't really care if they go off the page a little bit, especially in this one because I set it in a book and the book has a little border. The pages, it'll have a little border around it, so it'll be fine. And this is Tim Holtz, one of his number strips. And this little number is from a digital download. And that is pretty much it. I have some final pictures coming up. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do that. And if you like the process you watched, give me a thumbs up. Either way, have an awesome day.